Tommy Egan has faced everything: blood, betrayal, and heartbreak. But this could change his life forever. Mireya, the one woman who brought out Tommy's softer side, may be carrying his child. That's right, rumors are swirling that Mireya is pregnant, and Tommy doesn't even know. Fans are freaking out, and we're about to break down every clue, every sign, and every reason this twist could be the biggest one yet in Power Book 4, Force Season 3. Tommy Egan isn't known for showing love, not in a world full of crime, loyalty tests, and constant war. But everything changed when he met Mariah Garcia, the quiet, smart, and strong younger sister of Chicago drug lord Miguel Garcia. Unlike most people in Tommy's life, Mariah didn't want anything from him. No drugs, no power, no favors. Just peace. Their connections started off slow, a spark hidden beneath stolen glances and soft conversations. In the chaos of Tommy's life, Mireya became his moment of calm. She listened. She didn't judge him, and more importantly, she gave him something no one else could: a sense of normalcy. In Season 2, we saw that chemistry grow stronger. Mireya let Tommy in, emotionally, and for a man like him, that meant everything. But their love came at a price. Tommy's world was far from safe. His feud with the Flynn family was boiling over. The war with CBI was only getting worse, and then there was Miguel, Mireya's brother, a ruthless man who would never approve of her being with someone like Tommy. That danger became very real. When Miguel found out about their relationship, things exploded. He warned Tommy to stay away, but as we know, Tommy doesn't take orders. The tension between Tommy and Miguel pushed them both to a point of no return. Eventually, Miguel was killed, and although Tommy didn't pull the trigger himself, his hands weren't exactly clean either. Mireya was left shattered. Her brother was gone. Her family was broken, and the man she had fallen for, he was standing in the middle of all of it. She couldn't look at him the same way anymore, even if her heart still wanted to. So she made a choice. She disappeared. The end of Season 2 left fans with a lot of questions. Where did Mireya go? Is she safe? And most importantly, is she hiding something? Because let's be honest, their connection wasn't just emotional. There were moments, real and physical ones, where the two shared something deeper. And when people go missing in the Power universe, especially someone as important to a lead character as Mireya, it's usually not without a reason. What if she left because she was protecting something? Or someone? Fans have begun to wonder, was her disappearance not just about grief, but about starting a new life away from danger? A life where Tommy's unborn child would be safe. The theory sounds wild until you start connecting the dots, and we're going to do just that in the next section. That's exactly what fans of Power Book 4 have noticed leading into Season 3. Mireya Garcia, once at the center of Tommy's personal story, has suddenly vanished from all the trailers, sneak peeks, and early promo material. And in a show where every frame means something, her silence is speaking volumes. Let's break it down. In the newest Season 3 trailer, Tommy is front and center, angrier, colder, more ruthless. He's expanding his empire. He's making new enemies. But something feels off. His energy isn't just focused on the streets. There are moments, subtle ones, where his guard slips, a flicker in his eyes, a glance at an old photo, a silent pause in the middle of chaos. Tommy isn't just fighting battles out there, he's carrying something inside. Now, think about this. Every character around Tommy is being pulled deeper into the game. Diamond, Jannard, Claudia Flynn, but Mireya, she's nowhere to be seen. No footage, no lines, no cameos, not even a mention. And that kind of silence is louder than any gunshot in the Power universe. Some fans might chalk this up to simple writing. Maybe her arc is just over. Maybe she moved on. But longtime Power watchers know better. People don't just disappear unless it means something. When a character goes off the radar, it usually means they're being saved for something big, or they're hiding something even bigger. Add to that the small details. In one early scene from the trailer, Tommy is shown sitting alone in a dimly lit room. He's staring at a glass of whiskey, untouched. On the table, a folded note. It's quick, it's almost unnoticeable. But fans paused the frame and zoomed in. There's a name scribbled on the corner: MG. Could that be Mireya Garcia? Then there's the background conversation overheard in another teaser clip. A voice, barely audible, says, "You better handle your business before it handles you. You got more to lose than you think." At first, it sounds like a general warning. But now, with these pregnancy rumors flying around, it hits different. What if that line is about family? About Tommy protecting a child he doesn't even know exists? Even Joseph Sikora, who plays Tommy, dropped a suspicious comment during a panel interview. When asked if Tommy would ever settle down or have a family, he smiled and said, he might already have more than he knows. Was it just a tease, or a slip? And then there's the wardrobe change. In every trailer, Tommy is wearing darker colors, black, charcoal, navy, a far cry from his old look. It's a small shift, but symbolically, it screams mourning, regret, responsibility. He's not just dressing for war. He's dressing like a man carrying secrets. All these pieces don't confirm anything on their own. But when you connect them, they build something stronger than a rumor. They build a picture of a man haunted by someone he lost, or someone he can't protect. And what if that someone is Mireya? Or his unborn child? The theory isn't just smoke. There's fire behind it, and the showrunners. They love planting seeds like this. Fans who spotted Tariq's betrayal long before it happened, or those who predicted QAnon's survival, know the pattern. This show rewards watchers who look closer. And when you do, all signs point in one direction. Mireya isn't gone. She's hiding. And she might not be alone. Coming up next, we'll dive deep into this theory and explain why fans believe Mireya is pregnant with Tommy's child, and what that means for Season 3's future. In the world of power, secrets don't just hide, they grow. And sometimes, they grow into something much bigger than a lie or a betrayal. They grow into life. So what if Mireya's disappearance isn't just about grief or fear, but about protecting the one thing that could change Tommy Egan forever, his child? Let's rewind. Tommy and Mireya's relationship wasn't just emotional, it was physical, raw, and full of real connection. We saw it unfold slowly in Season 2. Unlike other women in Tommy's life, Mireya wasn't caught up in the street game. She didn't want power. She wanted peace. She grounded Tommy. Their bond was quiet but deep. And behind those soft moments, the ones where they held each other in the dark, away from the chaos, there's a very real possibility something else happened, something life-changing. Here's where the theory kicks in. Fans believe that in the later part of Season 2, right before Miguel's death, Mireya may have already been pregnant. Her emotional distance, her pulling away, the way she avoided Tommy's questions, all of it reads differently now, not as heartbreak, but as hesitation, as fear. She was trying to protect something more than just herself. And after Miguel's death, everything changed. Mireya disappeared. Yes, but not randomly. Not out of nowhere. In a world full of blood and bullets, Mireya knew that sticking around would make her and the child a target. Tommy was at war with every corner of Chicago. The Flynns, CBI, the remains of the Serbs, all of them circling. She couldn't stay. Not when she knew what was growing inside her. So she left. She cut contact. She vanished, possibly with help. We don't know where she is yet, but the signs are there that she's not just in hiding. She's protecting a secret and a future. Now, let's talk about timeline logic. This theory isn't just emotional guesswork. Based on the timeline of events in Season 2, the pregnancy would make sense. The intimacy between Tommy and Mireya happened mid-season. By the finale, several weeks had passed. By the time Season 3 begins, months will have gone by in the story. That means, if she is pregnant, she could be well into it, or even have already given birth. Why wouldn't she tell Tommy? That's the heart of this whole theory. Because to her, Tommy is dangerous, not just to her but to their possible child. She's seen what his world looks like: murders, betrayal, revenge. Mireya may love Tommy, but she also knows what that love costs. She saw it cost her brother his life. She might believe that the best way to love Tommy is to keep his child far from him. It's heartbreaking, but it makes sense. Also, let's not forget the Power Universe's obsession with legacy. Ghost had Tariq, Kanan had Sean, even Dre had a daughter. Every major player eventually faces the weight of fatherhood, or the failure of it. Tommy, he's been alone for years. He's watched others fall because of their kids. But now, his time may finally be here. Asterisk a child would not only change Tommy's future, it would challenge everything about his past. How can a man raised in violence, who only knows loyalty through blood and war, become a father? That's a question this show might finally explore, and here's the twist. Mireya might not stay hidden for long. Also, let's not forget the Power Universe's obsession with legacy. Ghost had Tariq, Kanan had Sean, even Dre had a daughter. Every major player eventually faces the weight of fatherhood or the failure of it. Tommy, he's been alone for years. He's watched others fall because of their kids, but now, his time may finally be here. Asterisk a child would not only change Tommy's future, it would challenge everything about his past. How can a man raised in violence, who only knows loyalty through blood and war, become a father? That's a question this show might finally explore. Asterisk, and here's the twist, Mireya might not stay hidden for long. Asterisk, what if she returns mid-season, not just pregnant, but with the child in her arms? What if Tommy finds out from someone else first, and the guilt crushes him before the truth even lands? What if his enemies find out before he does? That baby could become the most dangerous secret in Chicago, and the biggest weapon against Tommy. Asterisk, we're not saying it's confirmed. Not yet, but when you connect the emotional clues, the timeline, and the writing patterns of this series, the picture becomes clear. Mireya is pregnant, and she's protecting the only thing she has left, a future without blood. Asterisk, but blood always finds a way back. Asterisk coming next, in Section 4. We explore what this twist means for Tommy's character and how fatherhood might destroy him, or finally save him. Asterisk, you can run from your enemies. You can even run from your past. But what happens when the one thing you can't outrun is love? Asterisk Tommy Egan has survived bullets, betrayal, and heartbreak. He's buried friends. He's killed enemies. He's burned down every bridge that couldn't carry the weight of his rage. But if Mireya is really pregnant, if there's truly a child out there with his blood, Tommy's biggest battle isn't in the streets anymore, it's inside him. Asterisk, because Tommy's never had to be soft. He's never had to protect something innocent. He's always been the wolf, the fire, the storm. But a child, that's different. A child forces you to become something else. Someone else, a protector, a guide, a father. And Tommy has no idea how to be any of those things. Let's go deeper. Asterisk, we've seen pieces of Tommy's heart before. He loved Lakeisha. He was loyal to Ghost even when it tore him apart. And with Mireya, we saw it again. That rare moment of softness, of calm. But love has always come with a price for Tommy. Every time he lets someone in, it ends in blood. That's his curse, and he knows it. That's why he pushes people away. It's why he walks alone. So imagine what finding out about a child would do to him. First, the guilt. Tommy would blame himself for not knowing, for not protecting Mireya, for leaving her out there, alone. That guilt would eat him alive, and when Tommy hurts, he lashes out. We could see him spiral into violence again. He might even go hunting for anyone who kept this secret from him, and that brings danger not just to his enemies, but to Mireya and the child too. Asterisk second, the fear. Not the fear of dying. Tommy's never been afraid of that, but the fear of failing someone innocent. The fear of being a father in a world where fathers rarely survive. Tommy grew up in pain. His mother wasn't stable. His childhood was broken. He never had someone to show him how to love without violence. So how does a man like that become a dad? Asterisk, that's the real test. Can Tommy break the cycle? Or will he pass down the same pain he's carried his whole life? Asterisk third, the transformation. If this twist is real, if Mireya shows up, or the child enters the picture, Tommy might have to choose between the streets and the crib, between power and peace. It's a choice this show has never forced him to make before. But fatherhood doesn't let you live in both worlds? Not for long. And it doesn't stop there. This child could become a symbol, a reason for Tommy to finally walk away from the game, or the exact opposite, a reason to fight harder than ever before. Because in the Power universe, having a child isn't just about love, it becomes leverage, a weakness, a target. Every enemy Tommy has, from Claudia Flynn to rival cartels, would use that child to get to him. That's the cost of fatherhood in this world. Asterisk. Let's not forget what happened to Ghost, what happened to QAnon, what happened to Sean. Legacy always comes with blood in this universe. And now, it might be Tommy's turn. Asterisk. So what does this mean for Season 3? Asterisk, it means we're not just watching a street war anymore. We're watching a man fight to protect something bigger than money, bigger than turf, his own flesh and blood. It means every decision he makes, every gun he fires, every lie he tells, could cost him more than his life. It could cost him his child. Asterisk, and if that happens, if Tommy loses this before he even holds it, he might become more dangerous than ever before. Asterisk, or, he might finally walk away from the game, for good. Asterisk, it all comes down to one thing. Can Tommy Egan survive fatherhood? Or will it destroy the last piece of him that's still human? Asterisk, in the final section, we'll look at how this twist could shake the foundation of Season 3, and how the rest of the Force universe might never be the same. Asterisk, if this theory is true, nothing in Season 3 will stay the same. Not Tommy, not Chicago, not the game itself. Asterisk, because in the Power universe, every action creates a ripple. Every secret buried eventually explodes. And the idea that Tommy Egan might have a child, a living, breathing part of him walking around this violent world, is a powder keg just waiting to go off? Let's talk about what this means for the story going forward. First, the emotional arc. Tommy has always been a lone wolf, fueled by revenge, loss, and survival. But a child changes that dynamic completely. It forces vulnerability into the most violent corners of his life. Suddenly, every choice he makes has double the weight. Every enemy he creates now threatens something more than just his empire. They threaten his bloodline. Asterisk, imagine this. Tommy gets wind of Mireya's location. He finds her. She's not alone. She has a baby. His baby. That moment alone could become the most pivotal scene in the entire season. No guns. No drugs. Just silence. Shock. And the overwhelming reality that everything he's built could now collapse under the weight of this one truth. But Tommy's enemies won't wait. Claudia Flynn, still smarting from her father's death and her own thirst for power, would see this child as leverage. She's ruthless, calculated, and knows how to weaponize weakness. And let's be honest, a baby Egan would be the ultimate weakness. Something Tommy can't control, can't threaten, can't kill. His way out of asterisk. Then there's Jennard, still gunning for control of the streets, still bitter about being overshadowed. If he gets even a hint of this secret, he won't hesitate. Not for a second. He'll turn it into a war. Not just for territory but for blood. And that makes Season 3 even more explosive than the last two combined. Asterisk, and what about Diamond? Will he support Tommy's new reality? Or see it as a distraction, a liability that puts everything at risk? The alliances in Chicago are already fragile. This child could be the crack that shatters everything. Asterisk, but it's not all violence and chaos. Asterisk, this pregnancy, if real, gives Force a rare opportunity to explore something deeper, redemption. For the first time, Tommy could be forced to look at his legacy, to ask himself, what am I leaving behind? What kind of man am I really? And is there still time to change? Asterisk, that's a theme Power fans have seen before, with Ghost, with Kane, even with Tariq, but Tommy, he's always been the soldier, the hitter, the one who never stops moving. If this baby slows him down, grounds him, forces him to rethink everything, we could see the most complex version of Tommy yet. Asterisk, but here's the twist. If the child does exist, and the secret stays buried too long, the reveal might not be peaceful. It might be tragic. In a universe where loyalty is tested in every episode, we wouldn't put it past the writers to flip this whole arc on its head. Imagine Tommy finding out. Too late. Imagine him losing the only part of Mireya he has left before he even gets the chance to hold it. Asterisk, that would break him. Asterisk, and when Tommy breaks, the whole city bleeds. Asterisk, so whether Mireya's pregnancy is confirmed early, revealed mid-season, or saved for a shocking finale, the impact will be massive. Not just for Tommy's future, but for the shape of the entire Power Book 4, Force story. Because this isn't just another plot twist. This could be the moment Tommy Egan finally becomes something more than a kingpin, more than a killer. Asterisk, this could be the moment he becomes a father. And in the Power universe, that title might be the most dangerous one of all.